What's doing? Welcome back. If you can see behind me here, there's a BYD Shark, and no, I'm not tuning the BYD Shark. We're here with Invicta. We've got Sean. We're going to go through and we're going to put a battery in my car. Well, we've already put the battery in my car, but we're going to go through and show you what it does, how it works, what it is, all the technical stuff that I have no idea about, but we're going to learn together. We're going to go through it all, and we're going to really test this battery as much as I can today. Once I have a winch set up in here, we're going to proper test it, but I'll go through that with you later date. But let's get stuck in. Invicta battery, hybrid lithium. Let's have a look. All right, we have the main man. Who are you, where are you from, and what do you do?
Sean from Invicta Lithium Batteries. I'm the National Account Manager and a big fan, so I love talking about the gear and love using it.
Awesome. What have you got here? What is this thing?
So this is going to be the new Invicta display ute, obviously BYD Shark, with all the Iron Man accessories going on, which we're pretty excited about. Loving the look so far.
So we have a raid rack.
So we've got the raid rack, we've got the scope lights on top. We've got the raid canopy, which is going to be a massively awesome looking feature once we've got our full setup in there. Yep. We have got the lift under there as well,
yep,
with the IM 2.5 suspension.
Nice.
We have a raid bar with the scope light bar as well.
Nice.
You may or may not see a sneaky winch, which we're working on an option for that very soon.
Nice, testing.
And the side steps as well, which yeah, so far looking very good. Still a few more things to go.
For a Shark, it doesn't look too bad. But no, it's cool. All right, well, let's go and talk batteries.
Let's do.
So in my car, Sean brought me a battery last week. I think it was, so he brought me last week. I'm going to get this wrong, a DN4 Max.
So it's an SNLH LN4 Max.
That one,
is the part number.
Yep, they're cool. We've got one of them in the engine bay already. I'll open the engine bay, I'm going to show you where it is, what it does, and why we chose that, why we could go other ways if we wanted to, all those sorts of things, and what I'm planning to do with my car and why we're doing that. So I'll open the bonnet, we'll get stuck in. Sean's going to go through and tell us all these weird numbers that you're not going to understand, but at least you can get an idea of what they do, how they do it, and why I went this way. So what is this?
So this is what we call our lithium hybrid. Now the idea of the hybrid is it will crank the car as well as handle some cyclic loads.
What do you mean, what's a cyclic load?
So that'll be your fridge, lights, compressors, your house power, your accessories, your fun stuff.
Okay, cool.
So the beautiful thing about this setup, a lot of vehicles now, you're getting less and less space. A lot more of us are only able to do day trips and maybe the odd weekend. And in those situations, sometimes a proper dual battery system can be a little bit over the top. So this is a really great compromise system. So this goes in place where your start battery was, as you can see. It fits all the same existing bracketry, so you don't need any new brackets. And then all you're doing is getting your cables run to the back to plug your fridge and lights and whatnot into. So, as I said, for a quick day tripper,
perfect.
Beautiful system.
All I did, so we've bent the truth a little bit there. Bracketry's the same. The only thing I have done is, in the Dmax, I have a little black tray, which I have over there, I can grab for you. There's a little black plastic tray that sits under here. I pulled that out, battery literally dropped in. Yeah, it just dropped in, everything's the same, the DIN height's the same, everything's the same, the clamp is the same, sits in the same spot. I literally just pulled the black tray out, dropped this in. I probably should have weighed this, well, you probably already know the weight, don't you?
You're looking about 8 kilos for that.
I can literally pick it up with my pinky and drop it in there, and it bolts in the same spot with the same thing.
We do actually have one that fits that black plastic tray as well if you want to leave it completely OE. The reason we went for the slightly bigger one though is, as you said, Shane, you're going to be running a winch.
Yep.
And we do have a couple of options with a larger battery management system, which will allow huge currents in and out. So you can actually run the winch in this car when it's in with the engine off. Oof. It is an animal.
So we need to talk about battery management system, and Sean may drop it here every now and then, the BMS, which is the battery management system. I'm not new to this, I know what it's all about, but I'm probably sure there's a lot of people out there that are just getting into forward driving, want to get a lithium battery, want to get the AGM batteries or whatever it may be that someone's talked you into, BC-DC chargers, all these different things. There's all sorts of letters. MPPT is another one, BMS, DC, BC, there's all sorts of words and letters. But the reason I went this way is, I'm going to say it's dummy proof. I do nothing with this thing at all. My wife can drive it, anyone can drive it. There's absolutely, you don't have to do anything at all. It has its own BMS. I get Sean to explain to me what a BMS is, why it already has one, and what we could have done differently or whatever, and how this works and what we can do to monitor it.
Perfect. So yeah, BMS, as Shane said, is your battery management system. In layman's terms, it's the brains of your battery. So that's going to control all of your cell balancing to make sure the battery's charging properly. It's going to look after temperature protections, overcharge, over discharge. You can even drop a spanner across those terminals, and instead of arcing out and causing a huge problem, the BMS, or the battery management system, will brick the battery, keep it nice and safe. You remove the short circuit, she's working again.
Where is it?
It's built into the battery.
Right.
So it's actually inside the case. Yep. Every battery, the shape internally is slightly differently, but generally the BMS is always going to be up there on top.
Yep.
For a couple of different reasons. First and foremost, that's going to keep less heat. You're not jamming it down in the sides. It's not going to get bashed around or punctured in the side. Up top's nice and safe and out of the way.
How do we use that battery management system? What do we need to do that?
One of the cool key features of our battery management system is this handy little Invicta Hybrid monitoring app. So you can see there I've connected to this battery last. It will show you the percentage of the battery in real time. It'll even track how many cycles the battery's done. It'll show you whether it's on charge, discharge, or standby.
What's a cycle? What's a cycle?
So with a cycle, that's your battery getting fully discharged, fully recharged. Now the way our batteries will track is if you cycle it, so you take 10% off 10 times, that'll consider one cycle at 100%.
Cool.
So they're guaranteed for a few thousand cycles.
This battery, just be full disclaimer, this isn't a brand new battery, I'm pretty sure. I've been, I say we've acquired this battery for me for testing and obviously given to me as a demo. So obviously if you get a brand new one from me, it ain't gonna have 148 cycles. It's gonna have 0 or maybe 1 for testing, but obviously 0, and it'll be brand new. This is, Sean's looked after me very well. Give me a one to check and make sure it's gonna work okay and go for our system. But that's why it says 148. I've only had it in there a week or so.
Correct.
And it wouldn't have done 100. I think when I got it, it had 147 maybe. I'll go into depth in a second when we do the fridge thing. It has dropped down to about 30% when I left it for 2 days, so it hasn't done a full cycle yet.
Also, if you scroll to the next page here, you can see amps being drawn. Now that'll go positive or negative depending on whether you've got power going in or going out. You've got your voltage there, and these two little temperature numbers, there's actually a temperature probe on the battery management system and a temperature probe that's monitoring all of the cells as well.
So temperature wise, we're allowed to run this in the engine bay because it's rated 2.
So this battery will turn off at 80 degrees internally,
Yep.
but the difference between this battery and our standard deep cycle range is we've actually reduced the internal size of the pack and we've insulated around the cells to keep the heat away from them. So that's why the hybrid is used and recommended under bonnet.
So the hybrid compared to a normal deep cycle one has a lot less ampere hours.
So the hybrid does have less amp hours
So-
because of that reduced pack size.
So what I'm running
So
60,
this is a 60.
60, and if we were to go a normal style one,
So in that same size case,
Yep.
I could fit close to 100 amp hour
Yeah,
comfortably,
okay, yep.
but without the insulation, it's not going to last in the heat.
engine bay, cool, easy. We have got another car over there in the workshop, which isn't one of your batteries, it's a different battery, but we'll show you that as well, why I went this over having a second battery in the engine bay for room. And for me as a mechanic, they're an absolute nightmare to work on. So we're going to show you that in a second. And obviously there are options to have things behind the seat or in the tray, but then that comes with weight.
So not so much weight, I mean, yes,
Size,
weight,
yep.
but also you've got to add a DC to DC charging system. If you're using it all day, every day, or you're going for longer trips, it's worth every cent.
Yep.
But as I said, for the day tripper or the odd weekend warrior, which
is me.
let's be honest, it's most of us these days.
I'm not an off-gridder that's going to be gone for months at a time. Like I was saying to you before, if I'm going drifting or four driving or camping or whatever it may be, go-karting with my son, it's generally going to be an overnighter, and that'll be about it. So yeah.
I put one in my wife's car. I take the kids to the beach once in a blue moon in that. The rest of the time we obviously take the Invicta rig. But she uses it, she'll go pick up groceries and then she'll go do a bunch of other stuff and be able to keep the groceries cool in the car even without running the risk of going flat.
Easy. We'll continue on with the rest of our story. So the battery management system, you can see that on your phone. There's a button here. What's this button?
So that's another handy feature of the BMS in this battery. What it will do is when it gets to a certain point, it will actually turn the battery off and reserve enough to still start the car. So if you do find yourself, in the middle of nowhere overnight, you leave the fridge on and you didn't quite have enough power in it, or you accidentally left it open, something, you drain your battery flat, instead of having to call for help, you wake up in the morning, you pop your bonnet, you push your button, you start your car.
Awesome.
You can also turn that on via the Bluetooth app.
Awesome.
So when the battery's flat, you connect to your app, it will actually say battery needs to restart. Would you like to do that? Hit yes, and you're away. Super
easy. So I had one of these style batteries in my Hilux, and it went flat a few times when we've been away camping and things, or a Fraser, just running like Super Dupers in the freezer. I'd have to press the button, go start the car, come back, unpress the button, and then good to go again. And the same thing, it'd run for another day and then be full again and ready to go. But this one, you literally just press the button once, it's in cycle mode, start it, it then has its own management system on board to understand it's now charging, turns that switch off and goes back to normal. Awesome. All right, so yeah, like I said before, the plan is to run a winch eventually. I'm just sort of going through stages with this car, just so I can have an idea of how things feel, how they weigh, how they handle, what suspension to run, all those sorts of things, and we're going to do a step. So I just don't bomb it out with everything and then not understand how the systems work from my end. So as this is a development on my end, so now I know how this car feels with this, I can say to you, yes, your car will feel like this. We put a winch in it, we need to run this suspension. So we're going to go down that path. In the back, I don't really have much need to run a lot of things, to run inverters and all sorts of stuff. So I've kept it pretty basic, running the hybrid, and we're just gonna go in the back where I've got my power system set up in the drawer setup, and we have a fridge running. So let's go in the back. In the back, we have my big dog fridge. There is absolutely nothing in it, in either. It is brand new. You can see there's nothing in it. I have been running this. We can see on my little Ironman display here, I have power ready to go. There's 13.4 volts running. It's pretty much straight connected to that board. I've just got the SIG socket on the back inside, so plugged in so I can remove it. We can do different things and setups and whatever it needs to be. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug it straight in. We're gonna raw dog it, and we're gonna look on the app here and see what sort of amps it's pulling at empty. And it's gonna continue obviously to run because there's nothing in there cold, so the compressor's gonna keep trying to run. I said where I've seen it over the weekend, we're in like 39%, is because it's empty over the weekend. All right, so literally gonna plug this in now. Hopefully I can reach my plug. So we plug that in there. Sean has the app open. Fridge is just going to power up in a second. Okay, so we've pulled the fridge out on my Ironman slide, obviously. I've set this thing to absolutely worst position possible. If I can get the button to work on me. Use my right hand. There we go. So I've set this thing to the worst thing possible. It's at negative 22 degrees in both of them. And we're now pulling 5 amps. And it's showing us state of charge, all live, so that tells us exactly what's going on. So I can start this car up and it'll show me that it's obviously going to put a positive charge in as well, positive amperage in. This is the way I've been running it. I didn't run it. I didn't run it at negative 23. I ran it at 0 because I knew that I'd probably not overload it, but I'd ask a lot of it to last 2 days. With nothing in it at negative 23 will be a lot.
And the beers need to be cold, not crunchy.
Yeah. So I've sort of put it at 0 just so it's cold in there all the time, and it would pull 3.5 amps. It's now pulling 4.2, sitting there constantly now. A
small amount of that will also be the car as well because the car's unlocked.
Okay, so the car's unlocked and half live, so there's going to be a little bit about an amp and a half, 2 amps, something like that because the car's live. That's another discussion, but it's there. We're at 98%. If I get Sean to start the car up now, we can watch that go. You're going to start the car up for me?
Absolutely.
We can start the car up. I'll try and get no glare for you. Car's now running. Alternator's now putting in 22 amps, 23 amps, and running, there you go, 30 amps. So then that'll bring that state of charge back up pretty quickly, back up to 100. Nice and easily, and yeah, the fridge will just keep chugging away doing its thing.
That is just at idle as well, so
correct.
Obviously under load that alternator will put in a bit more than that as well.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so we spoke about amperage there. So the fridge obviously is only going to pull at max 4 amps on a worst case scenario. Obviously probably gets, if it's hotter outside, all those sorts of things, but somewhere around that 4 amps. I think the fuse in there's only like a 6 ampere anyway, so it's not going to generally pull more than that. The wiring's not rated to any more than probably 10 amps, to be honest. I have a 50 amp lead from front to back, so we're safe there. But if, I'll flick to you, with Invicta in the background, of course, if we were to really raw dog this, and you've told me a thing that you guys have done with the winch with no power, and like you said before, what's the battery rate? How much amps can we pull out of that battery?
So the standard hybrid range has an average of 200 amp constant current out.
Yep.
The max range, which is one of the ones we're running in here, will actually do 800 amps out and up to 600 amps in.
Yeah, wow.
So in testing, I actually winched my car up a hill while running an inverter through a coffee machine at the same time with the engine off.
Yeah, car not running.
Car not running,
yeah,
and that was pulling near 500 amps constant while still holding 12.9 volts.
Wow. So this isn't targeted to you, obviously your ma and pa going camping. It's probably going to those weirdos like Mac Prestons and things like that go out with their Land Cruisers, the engine breaks because he's a lunatic and he needs to get out. If you don't have enough amperage to run that winch by having the car running, you're stuck in the hole.
Correct.
Whereas if you have something like that max battery I've got, you can be stuck in a hole, hit that button and get winched out, and obviously it happens. People go in water holes and the motor gets seized, or car stalls, or whatever may happen. The starter motor stops working. Whatever the problem may be, you can obviously then have that winch running, know you can get yourself out of there in a hurry, and fix the car at a later date.
Correct.
Correct.
Yep.
So option-wise in Invicta, I don't want to say it's endless, but if you look online, and if you look on my website, I put a link in the bottom, there's a lot of different batteries, and they all do different things. Between the hybrids, the slim lines, the deep cycles, and I've probably missed a couple there in between as well. There's a few different things. The reason I didn't go slim line or a second battery or whatever was one is room. I've got some junk in here now, but I have nothing in the back. I just have the fridge. And the fridge I can pull out at any time, like it's not strapped down currently. I have been asked, and I will show you. There is little strips in here you pull out, and then they have little tie down points when you tie the fridge down. I haven't done that yet, because I literally pull it in, pull it out for whenever I need it on the weekend, or when Sean comes in to do testing. So the reason I went under bonnet was that availability, 1, to jumpstart, 2, for room, and 3, that I don't need to have a whole other wiring system set up with boards and panels, because I'm not going to be running a slushy machine, I'm not going to be running inverters, all those things. Try and keep it simple.
That's right, yep.
Yeah. So that someone, like I said, like me, or like you, that you're going to go to the beach, you want to take your fridge, you're going to double iron for the day. This is the ultimate setup, where you literally pump your fridge in the back, you can have it running like that, it'll cool the thing down, leave it running for 2 days, no dramas at all. If it does go flat by whatever reason, because you don't have solar like I don't, you press the button or on your app, start it up and away you go. There obviously then comes in cost, because if you're having a second battery, a slim line, you start paying for more things, but it all comes down to that use. Like, what are you using for?
That's exactly right. It's a case by case. So the hybrids, as I've said, it's a great day tripper or a every now and then use a compromise. Yep. You're doing a draw system. There's a lot of room in the wing panels in these Ironman drawers, so we can put up to a 200 amp in the wing panel there. Once you start talking about running inverters and other bells and whistles, rooftop tents, all that sort of stuff, you need more power than a hybrid can offer. We have several different systems for that.
Because this is 60 amp hour.
Correct.
And I'm going to get some numbers wrong here, but I'm pretty sure I've seen 230 amp hour.
Yeah, so we do a 230 amp hour slim, a 200, a 105, a 100, and then we do standard shape batteries as well, up to a 300 amp in those.
Now I know the answer, but amp hour, and maybe some people out there don't know, what's amp hour mean?
So essentially,
I'm turning around for you, so you're not just me talking.
Yeah. So essentially, you've got a 200 amp hour battery. You're pulling 1 amp an hour. You're going to get 200 hours out of it roughly. That's essentially what amp hour is.
Cool. Easy. That's just a little bit, a bit of a technical answer, because I knew what it was, but people don't understand what amp hour means. And without going for a 45-minute video, which was trying to keep it simple. So what we might do is we might go in the office now, show you the showroom. There's a couple of different batteries I've got in there on display. We're going to go inside and we're going to go and see what's in there, and we've got a couple of different ones. They're just display units, so they're super, super light. There's nothing in them, but we can give you a couple of ideas on some different options we can go through. And I think that's all we're going to have. So we'll get in the office. So as we step in the office, you'll see the lovely ladies ready to serve you at any time, or maybe not. They'll serve you any time, but maybe not lovely. We have the Invicta wall here, very small compared to what stock they have and variety they have, but it gets a conversation started with you guys to show you what we can get, and we can get you going from there. Right, Mr. Sean, what have we got?
So we can see one of our display hybrids here, which is what we just saw in Shane's car, but that is the slightly smaller version.
This one? This is so what's this one?
That is the LN3, or the SNLH LN3. Yep. That's the one you could have used to keep the little plastic black tray.
Yes.
But obviously we wanted the bigger one for winching.
Yep.
We do those in N70 sizes and a few other sizes as well to suit most vehicles. There is actually a full fitment guide on the website.
I do have, yeah. So I was going to say there's a fitment guide on their website, but anything I'll link across to my website as well. So you can go between the two, and we can get you sorted out with, if you have a Toyota Hilux, you have a Land Cruiser, you have a Ford Ranger, we can generally give you an online quick answer, say what it needs, what one would fit your car. And there are ones that will say we can fit this or that with some modifications.
Correct, yeah. Some cars that fit the 60 amp standard with some bracketry modifications, some magic Shane can work, we can fit a little bit more in.
Easy. And what's this other big dog?
So this is our Invicta Black range. Now, Invicta's always been at the sort of the higher end of the market, but we found there were a lot of people, especially these days, where budget just doesn't suit. So what we wanted to do was bring out a really good quality option that's, we'll say, a little bit friendlier on the wallet.
Yep.
So we have a 100 amp hour here that's only $699 retail with a 5-year full replacement warranty and Bluetooth monitoring.
Yeah, well, so you have the same Bluetooth stuff in this as my car, but obviously doesn't have the jump starter, but this can be a standalone battery with the Bluetooth battery management system.
So no need for a full monitoring system. You can just check it on your phone on a free app.
I'm going to look a little bit stupid here, and I'm going to ask a stupid question. I'm gonna have a Toyota Hilux and I wanna run one of these batteries in the back of my wing kit in my draw system. What else do I need?
So you'll need a lithium compatible DC to DC charger,
Yep.
which, well, by the time your Hilux gets here, the Invicta one should be ready to go. But yeah, as long as it's a proper lithium compatible DC to DC charger, the battery's going to be happy.
Cool, so basically really easy, obviously DC-DC charger which you can run in the bonnet depending on the car, depending on the module obviously, whether it's a waterproof one or it has to be inside the tray. What did I say, water resistant. We can run that whatever, and then that can be pretty much mounted wherever. I've got a customer that's got a truck, we're looking at running these batteries on his truck. I've got other ones, we can do the slimline style ones behind the seat. Had a patrol guy come in the other day, he's going to run 2 slimlines behind the passenger's back seat to run fridges and inverters and everything else. So the more, obviously, stuff you need, the more stuff you need, the more stuff you need.
We even have a portable power station now as well, so if you find you've got multiple cars in the family and you want to be able to hop between them, our portable power station, 1600 watt pure sine wave inverter built into it. You'll be able to run the old pod machine and
I'm going to see if I can try and I'm going to see if I can try and acquire one of those because I think it'd be super handy to have going to 4-drive shows, going to that sort of stuff where you need to. It has a 240 volt outlet on it. You can run it and just carry it and walk away with it. And put it in.
I ran half my kitchen off it when we had a blackout and kept the kids' Nintendo charged to keep him off my back.
So I might need one for home because I live out at Glenview and we have power outages and yeah, we need that out there. Cool. Anything else? Any hot tips, questions that get asked all the time that you can sort of think of?
Oh, look, lithium is obviously the hot topic. It's a minefield. There's a lot of, we'll say, misinformation out there. So just make sure that wherever you're getting your information from, it is a reputable source. But look, it's a safe and very well-performing technology. So yeah, enjoy it.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming in and going through. Any questions that I can't answer, I can forward them straight on to Sean, and he knows he is known as Mr. Invicta. I'll put a picture in here so you can see what he looks like. And you can come and ask the questions. I say if it's something that's out of my range, I'm a phone call away to Sean and we go, hey, this is what we're trying to do, what do you think? And all he knows is batteries, so that's what he's here for. So yeah, he gets us out of trouble.
Happy days.
Cool, thank you very much. Hit that like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.